right, we're being recorded. Okay, please, let's look at the minutes, and do we have any changes before we ask for approval?
Motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have, did you get that? Awesome, okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I guess we raise our right hand. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Everybody raise. Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you. All right, under old business, it doesn't appear that we have any old business, so I think we will go ahead then to the new business. And we're going to start with Evans Construction. Are you here? Are they here? Okay. All right, terrific. Welcome. Empire Communities.
Hello, how are y'all?
Good, thank you.
This right here is you want to go along.
Oh,
You
cool.
can just press that yourself and show.
Do I just go ahead? I'm sorry, I've never done this before. So this is our,
Introduce yourself to us, please.
oh, yes, hi.
Okay.
I'm Peter Ewing. I'm a associate with Empire Communities on the land development team. Introducing two of our projects tonight that we have, one at the corner of Hembry Road and West Side Parkway, and the other at the corner of Kimball Bridge Road and North Point Parkway. As part of our zoning conditions, we were, Alpharetta staff and Alpharetta City Council asked that we dedicate a corner on each of these intersections to a integrated landscape, hardscape, and artistic monument for the North Point Eco District, which is part of the North Point overlay. So this right here is our monument for the corner of Hembry Road and West Side Parkway. So we have our townhomes there in the background, and with supposed to have 3,300 square feet. Can you see that?
We've got this small rendering. Is this where we should be?
Yeah, he's actually controlling the presentation.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I thought she was.
Oh, no problem. So yeah, this is our overall landscape rendering in the hardscape with the monument, as you can see there in the foreground. And this is, so we've decided to go with a low lying gabion basket wall, which is, if you're not familiar, it's a rock basket, and you can fill it with either recycled concrete or river rocks. We were thinking smooth river rocks would look best. Draped over with creeping fig to grow over the side of the wall, and then finally our last artistic Empire Zone artistic expression as homage to its name, the Firefly community. We wanted to add two custom-made Corten steel metal fireflies. So these fireflies were crafted. They're handcrafted, custom crafted from he's a sculptor and metal artist in Lincolnton, North Carolina. It's right outside Charlotte. So we had a few options, and we decided to go with this guy. We really liked how he was custom made, and we really liked how the Corten steel, low maintenance, and will naturally rust to this color. So there's another rendering there. This is the monument, overall monument location, just showing from the perspectives from different corners. So from West Side Parkway or Hembry, that's how you would be seeing it. So, and another perspective photo there.
Okay, I have some questions.
Absolutely.
About that very first one.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, because I think the second one's similar. So go ahead and do both of them, I guess, because it's the same type of sign.
Yes. Yes.
Monument, what you're calling it. Okay.
You want me to go ahead with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So this is the second project is located at the corner of Kimball Bridge and North Point Parkway, and this is at the entrance to the North Point Eco District. So this is our pine cone community, as we've named it. So
Wait, before we move on to the Pinecone community, they'll need to vote on the Firefly.
So I just thought since they were similar, but okay, we can do that first. Okay. So I do have a couple of questions on this one.
Can you
One of
please
the
turn on your
questions.
mic?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. One of the questions I have had to do with the height of the
monument, as you're calling it,
The wall.
the wall?
The wall is going to be 4 feet tall, and we really wanted not to emphasize so much the wall. We kind of want the wall to blend in with the overall landscaping and hardscaping, while emphasizing kind of the fireflies on the wall.
Okay, and because one of the things I noted in here was that the sign is only 10 inches high within that 4-foot wall, right? Which is like, you can barely see it.
Oh, right, that's actually the old rendering, but, so,
Do you mind if I think I just wanted to introduce, I wanted to explain why he's doing an.
I can't hear you, Kim.
I wanted to explain why he's doing an eco-district sign. Community development initiated that first part of their development. So they're required as one of their conditions to do a sign for one of Alpharetta's districts. And so they're adding in a touch to that. I just wanted to kind of have them understand that. So I thought that was important. It's not a sign for his townhome community.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah, so, to your question, this is actually the old rendering, but we've increased the sign from 10 inches to 1.5 feet. So it's a little bit larger, and we thought it could be a little bit larger as well, but we still kind of wanted to kind of not de-emphasize the sign, but to make it just a little bit more low-key in the background while emphasizing the fireflies.
Go ahead, Michael.
So corten steel is a great material because it rusts in place. Are you concerned at all that it also rusts and runs? So are you concerned that it's going to run on the sign?
So the fireflies, as you see them, kind of will be lifted off the sign a little bit, just the way we attach them, because we are going to secure them in place so no one obviously could come up and take them. So I think the firefly on the sign, it would fall down into the landscaping underneath. So the one on the top, we haven't thought about that aspect, but we could also situate that firefly where if there was run off of the corten steel, that it would fall onto the landscaping and not the sign itself or the rock.
And your Eco District sign is also the same material?
Yes, ma'am.
Eco, it's Eco, not Echo. Right?
Eco.
Eco. Could you also tell me what the size of these fireflies is now? Because I know that was one of the criteria, was to increase those as well.
We should have. So we had it submitted, but the fireflies are going to be the one on the right, as you can see, kind of standing up against the sign like that, is going to be 3 feet wide. And then the one on the top we're making a little bit smaller to be about 2-3 feet long. So at its widest right there, at its wings, it'll be 3 feet. And then the one on the top will be just a little bit smaller, but situated different.
If we're concerned about the bees running, the sign could run too, right? So is the sign sort of pulled off the wall as well, or how is that?
The gabion basket is kind of, I don't know if you, okay, yeah, so it'll be on the metal part of the sign, not within the basket. So it'll kind of be set in front of the rock, and so, okay, yeah.
When it rains, the rain is going to push the rust into the gabion baskets.
Possibly, I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
So,
The rusting was the whole concept. So the rusting was the concept because we were looking at kind of the eco district's points, and they were kind of emphasizing an earthy but industrialized look in a way. And so we thought that the corten steel, when it rusts like that, would kind of go in, play into what City of Alpharetta wanted for the eco district. So.
Artists, if there was some acrylic or something that you could put on once it gets to the right rusting stage, and then, maybe that could prevent the...
Absolutely, we could ask him for sure and get his thoughts on that.
I'll attack this from a totally different angle. I like the idea of the wall not being impervious. I like it that it's open, you know, that you'll have opportunities for lizards and environment to be in there, ecology. And I like that it's got, you said creeping fig or something in there.
Yes.
So I'm questioning how much the fig will actually get into the sign, and will it be legible? Is that something that we're concerned about? What's the maintenance on that, I guess?
So the creeping fig grows very slowly, and that's why we've chosen the creeping fig, because eventually it will grow to that, what we have designed in the rendering here. But the sign and the area will be maintained by the community HOA. So if it were to get to that point, we could have, obviously, the landscapers maybe come and trim it back, or a little bit, trim it back to whatever people desire if it does overgrow.
And I like the idea of it being a green wall more than a rusty rock wall. So I think, you know, whatever you can do to potentially let it cover up the rust stains, I think that's more in line with the eco district anyways, make it green.
Other thoughts? So I hear the one question is about the sign running. Of course, once the plants are there, it'll just run right through it. So I'm not, what do you think, Michael?
It'll just stain the gabion stone.
Yeah.
And so Corten steel can be sealed. There is a sealer. I mean, this is not a unique problem. I mean, there is a sealer for it, and it lasts a very long time.
We could look into getting it sealed for sure. We just had not discussed that before.
Either had we.
That's the first.
Is this one project or both the projects are the same?
The wall design and the sign, the eco district sign, is the same for both projects, but this is one separate project.
So this one has the bees
Yes.
and one won't.
Yes.
Pine cones.
Okay, great. I think that answered a lot of questions. Do we have a motion on this? Sure. Okay.
Yeah, as long as
With it.
we have an understanding of how the rusting is going to be managed.
And I can get back to Kim or you guys on that for sure.
Can I ask?
Definite answer, sorry.
Weaved into contractors as well as maintenance for the rusting part, and you can make that part of the motion.
Yes, you can.
Okay, part of the motion. Okay, got it.
Got it. Okay, so the motion, if we have it, is that to approve it, but with the amendments that it's covered?
It's written on your, yeah.
Okay.
So just read that as the motion and include your amendment.
Did you want me to read it, or?
If Commissioner Foster is making the motion.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I move to approve the district signage and enrichment design submitted by Empire Communities to be installed at the Firefly Community Development with the inclusion of minor modifications as recommended by the Public Art Committee. And the modifications recommended are a status update or at least some sort of formal
Can you,
formal decision on how you're going to handle the sculpture and the rusting.
Okay, so for the record, Commissioner Foster is offering a motion to approve the Eco District signage and enrichment design submitted by Empire Communities to be installed at the Firefly Community Development with the inclusion of minor modifications as recommended by the Public Arts Committee, and so long as the issue of the concern of the rust for the structures and the sign are addressed
Correct, or addressed.
by the artist.
could you pull up the recommendations so everybody can see what they are for us? We're not on the right page, or you can. Can you pull up that page? I'm sorry. Our recommendation.
This one right here?
Okay, yeah, I think this is it, where our recommendation,
This one right here.
okay. All right. Do we have is that right?
Right,
Okay.
right. So as long as we have your team and the artist's recommendations, review the whole rusting issue and how it can be managed and included in whatever time, plan you have, or, okay.
I can do that for sure and submit that plan to Kim or
Okay.
anybody on the.
Okay.
Okay, so
Thank you.
for the record, Commissioner Foster is offering a motion to approve the eco-district signage and enrichment design submitted by Empire Communities to be installed at the Firefly Community Development with the inclusion of minor modifications as recommended by the Public Art Committee, and as long as the artist incorporates a solution to the concerns of rust for the art structures and the signage.
Correct.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Right. Thank you. All right. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed?
All right. So our next project, like it says, at the corner of Kimball Bridge and North Point Parkway, and this is our pine cone community. So like I was saying earlier, the wall design and the sign design is the same, and this is the updated rendering. You can see where it's a bigger sign with bigger letters, making it a little bit more legible. And for this artistic expression and as kind of a homage to the community name, we've decided to go with three large Corten steel pine cones crafted by the same artist who has made these before but makes them custom and in North Carolina. So that's the sign design with the pine cones and the layout. And there's a scale and renderings of the pine cones. And then we have, these are pine cones that the artists have done before, and this is what they would look like in front of the sign.
So basically, the customizing is only the size of them, because it looks like the same pine cone, essentially.
He does. He just does different. He offers it in different sizes.
Okay.
So we decided to go with a couple different sizes to.
Whereas the Firefly is unique to this particular
Yes.
thing. Okay.
What is the material right under the pine cones? Is that grass or turf?
Most likely will be grass or mulch or something like that.
Good question, because how do you mow around it if it's grass, right? I wonder how heavy they are. Are they movable?
They're going to be movable, but one thing that we wanted to make sure that they're secured into place, just in case somebody was feeling dangerous and might want to come steal a big pine cone or something. I don't know. You never know. So we just want to have a plan in place to make sure that they will stay there.
Is this installation anywhere near a walkway where people might feel invited to climb on it?
Yes. So currently, the sidewalk, as you can see in this, kind of runs up Kimball Bridge and then hooks around to the left down North Point. And we wanted to add kind of a small, most likely gravel path kind of between it that kind of goes up to the sign. So.
Is there any concern for safety if people get near it? Rusty metal, I'm thinking.
We haven't thought of that, but I don't think so, to be honest with you.
Is there a lighting plan as well?
Yes, these are going to be they're going to be uplit with small landscape lights from the bottom to the top of the sign, so coming from the ground up.
Well, I see the sign part again as the issue of it, possibly the rusting from the sign, right?
It seems very accessible from the main road. These,
We wanted, because this was at the entrance of the eco district, we wanted anybody from either direction to be able to see very easily, and we didn't want the pine cones or anything like that tucked away. We kind of wanted it to be visible.
Could you also pull up again for me the size of these pine cones? Okay. Right. About 30. And the sign again is about 4 feet itself, so, yeah, okay. All right. Any other thoughts?
I have a question regarding the eco district altogether. So we have two signs now that kind of lay out the look, I guess, of the eco district. Is there any other signs coming with other developers that are going to be same or similar or different?
That, I don't know. I'd have to check with community development and see what they have in their plans. I know that they're initiating artwork and signs, but I don't understand the full project and the entry points to the district.
So because it's supposed to be sort of branded, right? So I'm curious to what degree these artist pieces, that are very custom and very much belonging to one artist might be an issue down the road if somebody else wants to also brand the Eco District corner.
Right.
Curious how we want to tackle that.
And will they have the same concept as well? Or,
Yeah, I don't know. I know each developer has conditions at their location,
yeah.
and right now I'm not sure if there's cohesiveness between the different locations. I'm sure that there are sign elements to that. Maybe they're the first one to initiate this with their development with this district, so maybe the trend they'll follow from there. I'm not sure.
Maybe we can push them in this direction. I mean, it's nice. But
And I think the loose rock wall is certainly something that's easy enough to pick up, and they don't all have to have pine cones or fireflies or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was just curious if there was a outline for that already, or if we're setting this in stone, literally.
Any other questions? Or do we have a motion?
Is the motion going to be to also include the artists addressing any concerns for?
The rest, yes. I think, yes, like again. But also, it's very accessible from the main road. Can I look at the picture?
The aerial from the,
Yeah, well, I just feel like it's very tempting to go touch and sit on it, or if kids are going for a walk or something like that. So with the bees, they're a bit higher, right? They were higher, but I don't know, it just feels like something some kids would want to play with or sit on. Just
and that's what
dangerous.
That's why we wanted to kind of secure them in place so nobody could try to, you do whatever, do it.
Yeah, but they're going to want to climb them. I can just see a 6-year-old just wanting to climb that. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you can deter that a little bit by making the flower bed big enough and planting something in front of it, but then you're also taken away from it. So I think your idea was right to kind of maybe up and away a little bit more and something in front of it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think the landscaping could address that,
So I think running rust was one issue and safety is another, I guess.
Safety, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And do we have a motion that addresses those as well?
I motion to approve.
I can't hear you, Michael.
Okay.
I motion to approve.
With any amendments?
With the same maintenance issue as the other sign. I also want to bring up the fact that since we're going to have other eco district signs, that maybe we dictate the font or we start to dictate the materials used. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be gabion baskets everywhere, but if stone is incorporated and we use Corten steel, that on future signs, it will have a continuity in defining the district.
That wouldn't relate to you because there are two other developers, right? So I think what we would like to do is, let's get through this and then make a recommendation, maybe that we send this message to community development. Is that okay?
Can you
All
read
right.
this again?
Okay, a suggestion here, since we do have some safety concerns about this one that we didn't have for the other, perhaps we want to defer this until you come back and address those issues.
That would
Can
be
we do that? Okay. Is that all right with everybody else? It's a suggestion? Okay.
Move to defer the topic.
So, I mean, basically, it sounds like we're,
Yeah, I
favor with
just-
the same things, except we'd like you to come back with addressing
A
those.
safety-
Is that, okay. So we don't need a motion for this then. We're just deferring it.
Motion to defer.
A motion to defer. Do I have a motion to defer?
Motion to defer.
Second? Jean, have a second?
Do we want to remove from the floor Commissioner Barsky's call to approve or motion to approve the item?
Can I withdraw it? I withdraw my motion.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to move to defer.
We're going to move to defer.
I move to defer.
Jean, seconded.
Second.
All those, do we have to vote in favor? Okay, everyone in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you very much. Okay, appreciate it.
Awesome.
Before, you can go ahead and go, but I just want to talk
You
before.
guys, appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thanks.
sure. Before we go, maybe we could put this under new business, that idea about the echo, and come back to that, because we have another guest in the audience here, and we'll go through that one, if you don't mind. Is that okay with everybody? Great, thank you.
To confirm, are we going to defer that item until the next meeting?
Yes,
Okay, so the item has been deferred until the next meeting of the Cultural Arts Commission.
that is correct.
In January.
Okay, Evans, thank you. Sure. Just please introduce yourselves. I wondered what the E was for. Evans, huh?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Sarah Evans Rothwine,
And I'm Kenny Key.
and we both work with Evans General Contractors and are part of the building management for this project.
Up here? Get on where you need to be. I'm not quite sure where. Oops. Oh, yeah, they were first. Sorry. Got it back.
You guys were so quiet in here. I walked downstairs. Like, oh my gosh.
Okay, let's start. I'm not sure where you want to start, but you're.
Okay, so our project is an art sculpture for the corner.
Can you talk up a little bit, please?
Our project is an art sculpture for the corner of our building.
Can you pull up, don't you have a picture of that? I don't.
It's
think
not on. Do I need to bend down a little further?
There you go.
I think that's his. Let me go a little further so I can pull up the photo. Yep. So the sculpture is symbolism of an eagle. It's 120 inches tall from base to the top of the wing and depth of the wings sideways. And I can show you a sideways image in a second. And wrapping it with masonry blocks that match the retaining wall behind it.
How tall was it again?
120 inches is the sculpture itself, and the silver base, you see, it'll match the stainless steel. I think that's about 3.5 to 4 feet. Does that sound right?
That's right.
Is that base portion 3.5 feet? Is that what you were saying?
Yes, yeah.
Do you have another view of this?
The view?
The view of the sculpture?
Oh, yep. So that would be the back of the wings. And that's a side profile.
Do you have a site plan?
site plan. We didn't bring one.
Showing where can you pull up a map and just to show us where the sign is in relationship to the highway?
I can try.
I actually live in the community right behind here, so I'll do my best to explain it. Until then, if you're looking out from the Avalon, there's the Gwinnett Tech Community College. It's on that road, North Winds Road. So if you imagine directly behind Gwinnett Tech, but on the opposite side of the road.
Okay.
That was probably not a good job. We'll pull up a map.
Now you put it where it is. It's just how far from the building and stuff, too.
Yes.
It's helpful. Thank you.
So, yeah, Google Maps shows it nicely now.
3050 North Winds Parkway. So looking at that corner, you can see the retaining wall.
Oh, on the upper
Uh-huh.
portion, okay.
And I think we're placing it about probably in the center of that diameter of that, between the retaining wall.
And that landscaping that's laying there near the road.
Okay.
Do I have control again?
One second.
Oh, sorry.
I'm curious, how did you come up with a design? Was there any input given to the artist, or what's the significance of the?
We found the artist first. We did several interviews. We really liked his designs. The silver reflects a lot of art, nature in the community already. It just picks up any color around it, which we really liked. We wanted to go with something natural, an animal, something in nature. We looked at foliage, we looked at animals. We really liked the eagle because it's just a balance of nature and beauty and power and elegance. So that's something we really wanted to show in Alpharetta.
Can I see the other views?
Yes.
David Landis is the sculptor who did the lion and the mouse at the library. He also did the interior sculptures inside the library as well. He's quite well known. He's done a lot of stuff on the Beltline and out of this material too. So I know who he is.
Do you have a line drawing or something? Because at first glance, right away, I don't see an eagle. So I just,
So the eagle is swooping downward. The top of the wings are up. His head is down, and this back, it looks, that's a tail.
Facing away from the silhouettes.
Some of the photographs indicated it has a matte finish, and some of them indicated it has a mirror finish. Is there concern if it's a mirror finish that you're going to create a beacon with sun reflecting onto a very busy intersection?
I think it'll be further away from the road than it looks.
Okay.
That road kind of, you go straight down and it'll be, I think, a peripheral vision. I don't think it should distract.
But is it mirror finish?
It'll be a smooth stainless steel, yes.
so who approved the final design of the sculpture? Was it your team or anyone else involved outside of your company?
Who picked the design?
Yes. Who?
Us, along with the land developers, had input.
As I mentioned, I live in the community right behind it, and we do have a lot of children. And that path is a very common path that our residents take to walk to the Avalon. So it's heavy pedestrian traffic. I understand it's stainless steel, but do they have rough edges, sharp edges? Similar to the other sign, just a little concerned about people wanting to touch it or.
The edges will be pointed, but there will be welded. They won't be a sharp knife finish. It'll be a welded finish, so there will be some smoothness. I think after talking with the first review team and our artist again, it's going to be up on a pedestal high enough. I don't think children of a young age would want to reach up there without supervision.
And just to clarify, you said that the actual base itself is about 3.5 to 4 feet, right?
Yes. This is a good depiction of what the silver will look like, just to reference.
So it's a polished stainless steel.
Let me go backwards.
Would that also be isn't that what the saxophone that Gregory Johnson did downtown is a stainless steel, so it'll be that same kind of material, and also the ones that are inside the library. Okay. Well, I think it's kind of a fun design. I noticed that the committee thought it actually looked like a butterfly. So I love when you can do your own interpretation.
Yeah, I like the concept.
And it's very tall. It fits, the space very well, which we often find they tend to be too small. So I do think so. Anyway, other questions?
I think the maintenance question, as always, so this is on your property, and it is stainless steel, so for the most part, there shouldn't be any problems. But is there a long-term agreement with the artist, how you're maintaining it?
We talked to the artist about maintaining. He says that this is one of the best materials to clean, especially if there's any tarnishment, any wreckage from people. So he is recommending some type of polish cleaner that we can buy. But as far as building manager and land manager, will be taking responsibility for keeping it clean and maintaining it.
Just mild soap and water.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, do we have a motion?
I move to approve the Eagle Public Art Structure design submitted by Evans Construction to be installed at 3050 North Winds Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30009, with the inclusion of the minor modifications as recommended by the Public Art Committee.
Do we have a second?
I second that.
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, it unanimously passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One last question. When's it going up?
He said 80 days to complete once I tell him we're under contract. So I will email him tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Keep us posted. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Terrific. All right, we'll do Kim, I think we ought to move into, before we do the commissioner's report, I want to have a discussion about the signage that we came up earlier. We may be going a little bit out of order here, but with the eco district, the question was raised that we want to have some kind of a consistent look throughout the district, and we want to send that message to community development that we would like to have some, right? Is that basically
Yes. Yep.
cohesiveness? Right.
Is there a map overlay of the eco-district? Or is it a concept at this point?
I thought Michael Woodman had presented that to us at one meeting.
I may not have been at the meeting.
Oh, that was in January last year.
So it's been a while, but I could email that out to you and let you take a look at those plans. He has those, we still have those, so. But I don't know a lot about the design on that level. I just know that when the art, in the condition, when they have a condition to have art with the development, we get those pieces, but this one incorporates a sign.
Okay.
How many areas do we know that are going to be developed?
I'm sorry, yeah.
Currently, how many do we have?
For that district, I do not know. Mm-mm.
Can we request they come back and share some info with us?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'd like to hear that if you all would too. And next
I agree.
January, come back and talk to us about it.
Okay.
Yep.
I just feel a little bit of concern where they're choosing the design, they're making the decisions, and then they're showing us the proposal. I think we have to be concerned about the art that they're put up a little bit.
And that's a good point, because the developer should know in advance, not after they get down the road, with some of these artists they're working with. So we do appreciate that. It's a good point. Do we need to make a motion on this, or can you just handle that?
No motion needed.
Okay. All right, all right. We'd like to see some consistency, and we'd like to know more about what's coming down the pike.
Okay.
All right, perfect. All right, great. Thank you, everybody, great. Let's see, where are we at? Commissioners' reports. Does anybody else have any reports? I don't think we do. Do we? Or no? Or a brief comment here?
But I think I wanted to share, I went to that fashion show that was put together. Did anyone get a chance to go? No, I was there. And it was really wonderful. It was breast cancer survival. And it was beautiful. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Anybody else?
From my end, just really little. There's more engagement in the Windward community on the resident page about upcoming events to the Art Center. And a lot of people are saying they had no idea that we even had this. Like, people go to Johns Creek instead of Alpharetta Art Center. So the word's going out slowly but surely.
That is one of my main things I wanted to discuss with you, is a lot of people don't know about us. So I talk to everybody, so I have been spreading the word. But is there a way that we can, reach out to the community, maybe mailers, like maybe once a year, somebody gets a postcard, because most people don't even know that it exists. Not most people, but there are a few that don't.
That's actually a great idea. So I don't know about your community, but Windward's got a monthly magazine that goes out, and it's a lifestyle magazine, so we could easily put something in there, and I could submit that if we...
If you just had one postcard or one thing once a year, a mailer, to just, just so that we can introduce ourselves, because most of those magazines, I don't really read all of them and go to the little ads, but I think we should do that.
The Southeast Pastel Society, fabulous, absolutely, wonderful. And I kept thinking, why isn't there a sign out front? I wish we had one of those electric signs out front to tell you, because that's such a heavy traffic area. I don't know. Can we get that in the budget, Margaret?
Even if it's just once a year, something in the mail.
Well, we can look into it for sure. We have a marketing team meeting regularly, so we'll talk about that. And kind of just see what options come up. We have a department marketing person that we can speak with. So.
Because there's so much to offer there.
Thank you.
And then I hate, when a class struggles with not enough people attending and they have to cancel it, which just happened to me. So
I think from the Windward end, I'm pretty sure I could get like the springtime kids classes or summer camp, and then fall and winter courses in there, but then also the shows, the Act One shows. So I'm posting this on Facebook, but there's still a lot of people that don't engage on that platform, so having that in the magazine would be great.
Thank you.
And I know you prepare that anyways, the blurbs, so I'm happy to forward that. That's ready.
Yeah, we do focus on the art guide that we do, and then we have our web page that we are very up to date with all the events. So that would be probably the number one place I would tell you to go. Just search Alpharetta Arts and Culture, and it'll come up. And then below that, you'll have like the main, like the larger events listed on the calendar. And then below that, you have all of our Instagram feed and events and classes that are visuals all underneath that. And we're posting on there every other day.
So if the Windward Lifestyle magazine would make a half page available, I don't know, 3 times a year or something, would that be something that I would have to write, or would that be something that you would submit? Like, how would we do that?
We can get that. I mean, we can get that too. Yeah, we have visuals like that we do. We have, we're working on a couple of ads right now for our summer guide. And it has like the History Museum, and then we're just going to do one generically about the Art Center and about registering and for classes and events.
Sounds good. So I'll find out what their calendar is for 2023, and then we'll hopefully get something rolling there. Connect the right people.
Just give me at least like 3 weeks. Something
Oh,
like
at
4 weeks.
least.
Okay.
this weekend is this weekend, right?
Yeah.
weekend. So I did pink party pajama. All the survivors came out in pink. Then I had the fashion show
Yes, that was awesome.
when Fulton County Arts and Culture. So what Kim you should do is talk to Fulton County because they put my event all on their website. They put it on Patch. They put it, and it was a great turnout.
Yeah, it was-
And then I had I had something else. Oh, I had brunch and beats at Antico's at the
Yes.
which I had a great turnout there. I had a Halloween party last month. I had a lot of stuff. It was crazy. So I would kind of talk to the people down in Fulton County and have them talk about the events that you're doing. So that, because I hear a lot of people say the same thing, they don't know.
Okay. Well, we're getting the word out, so any feedback's good. Thank you.
I have something, by the way, a shout out to Kim and the Arts Center. My husband and I renewed our vows for our 35th wedding anniversary, and we had a reception at the Arts Center, and it was an absolute blast. The staff was wonderful to deal with, and guess what? That's one of our privileges as cultural arts commissioners. All we have to pay for is the labor. We don't pay a facility rental fee, so it's a great place to hold events.
Well, we'll have a party there soon.
You have some pictures you can share? You have some pictures you can share later? Okay.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, that's right. And there's one more thing. Indie House. I support the community, the businesses. Fulton County, we did a Scent 101. So people came out. They were able to make their own perfume. So I don't know if you know Indie House. Those perfumes are like $500 a pop. So that was another, like I said, if you want to incorporate
Other
the
vendors,
Fulton,
yes.
that's what they're here for.
Exactly.
Go support it. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you, Jane. Okay.
And so I'll give my report. That's a little bit jumping back to October too, because we had some really cool things happen. Before we do that, I'm sure we're going to want to update on the performance permit in the pocket parks. We had to hold up a little bit. We have a new legal firm. They needed to review how we were doing our contracts citywide, and this was a part of that process. So it just got behind, and we will plan to launch it in spring. I don't want to launch it during the winter months. I just don't think it's a good time to do that. So I wanted to let you know it's still here. It's being processed with legal. They're going to review it, and hopefully April, like maybe after spring break week is what we're looking at. October, since we didn't get to meet, I wanted to kind of give you a few fun things that happened. We celebrated National Arts and Humanities Month. And at a council meeting, we had a proclamation. I invited Nancy Murphy, the president of Arts Alpharetta, to accept the proclamation with the mayor. So I thought that was kind of exciting. We had a lot of artist acknowledgement in October on a regional, national level. It was really, really neat. So this artist here, she teaches at the Art Center, Deborah. She's one of our plein air painters, and she was in the Georgia Magazine. And she got acknowledgement there, and she is a beautiful painter, and you can take one of her classes. She teaches regularly there. Olu, which I don't know if you remember, the figure Miles that was in Brook Street Park, he was awarded the Hudgens Award for $50,000, and that's a big deal. So we congratulate him. Is that where that ended up? So you can still watch this. Michael Dillon was on a show, and it's called Forged in Fire. Have you ever seen that on the History Channel? He won the competition. And that sword that you see here that he's holding, they were given. I don't want to give it away. Just go watch the show, search for it. But I was so excited. Like, I watched it as it was on. And, it's just neat seeing somebody, an artist, and actually winning and put all of his sword to the test and all that. So, but go back and watch that if you can. The Mondrian crosswalk. We painted a crosswalk at the Art Center. And we want to start doing a few of these. We've been testing a few. We love it. We had an artist design it. Amanda Shelnut, and she actually reached out for volunteers. And how we're going to do some of these is we're going to do kind of like a paint by numbers. And the reason for that is we don't want to get into a lot of blending, because that way when they weather, they'll be easy to paint and we can call on volunteers again. But we love it. And that was a fun project. Kids had fun, parents had fun. It was a good day. Our next sidewalk project.
How do you reach out to find volunteers?
Through Arts Alpharetta, they have a volunteer
They have a
network.
sign up genius they sent out. They have a list of people that want to volunteer, and they send out the sign up genius.
Yeah.
Then you sign in, and
Okay.
very efficient.
Our next one is at the pool. If you've been to Wills Park Pool, there's this crosswalk. It's the pool is beautiful. You walk back there, it's blue, but the front needs a little pep up there. So when we see the sun come through, we're going to come out and paint Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. We plan to make the musical notes actually match, like if you can read notes and read music, that you'll be able to know what song it is. And then we gave a little hint at a sun at the end. The song will not be there, the music sheet, but we're going to do the crosswalk there. It may not happen till spring, but we never know. We might have 80-degree weather here for 2 weeks, and we'll jump out and do it.
You know, Morgan's theme is always, have you had your fun today? It should be, here comes the fun.
We might have one like that pop up. Free little Lion Art Gallery. I just wanted to remind you that we have this on Old Roswell Street under the oak tree, and they are busy. Lionheart, we have a curator. She comes in, she puts the art out. They've given away over 250 pieces of artwork. They can't keep it filled. So if you ever see it empty, they're trying, but it's busy back there. Music Match, we were awarded, again with Fulton County, we were awarded $16,000 as a Music Match grant late in the year, so we requested to spend the funds through February 28th of 2023, and they said we could do that. So we are actively working on those Music Match partnerships throughout town. So if you know of anyone, we do have some funding, so please pass that word along. Family Day we had on October 8th. We had about 500 people attend. Arts Alpharetta at the top left, they had these baskets, and the kids they picked up a bag and they just picked up free art supplies. I think they did 175 bags, and it was a lot. Next year they said they need more than that. We actually had channel 69. What is that? What's the name of that channel? I was trying to remember. The news channel came and did filming live. And it was just a really, really good feel-good day, so try to come next year if you can. Across the way at the Community Gallery exhibit, we have Georgia Artists with Disabilities. The show is still here. It's ending this week. So please stop by if you want to walk over there and take a look. The Pastel Society will be coming down tomorrow. So if you haven't seen it, please come over and take a look. Some of the artwork and pastels, I don't know how they do it. They look like real photographs. It's amazing. A Christmas Story is coming up. I think they're almost sold out. So Act 1 is doing this through December 2nd through the 18th. I think the first weekend is sold out. So if you're interested in going, have you heard if they're completely sold out yet? I know he said they were.
I think just over the weekend, but.
Okay. I added in here, we did have the Charlie Brown Christmas, and that was the weekend before Thanksgiving. It was adorable. The kids were really cute, and they had been practicing. I just wanted to let you know that happened. Artist Market. Arts Alpharetta is doing an artist market this Friday and Saturday at the Arts Center. So please come by if you want to do holiday gifts. I think she's at about 15 vendors. So it's all handmade items. I bought a lot there in the last year. If you're interested in making your own holiday gifts, we have 2 classes, a stocking class and another gift-making class that has several gift options that you can make. Color and Light. That is our next gallery show and exhibit. We have 3 artists that are coming together with a focus on light. And following that reception, we are going to have a music, like a holiday music. So we're kind of melding. So if you want to come to a reception, Arts Alpharetta will have free food, free drinks, and stay for some music that night. The Nutcracker. Every year, Metropolitan Ballet has the Nutcracker. Please support them. It is a beautiful show if you haven't seen it. So please, go online. I believe, and buy tickets there. It gives their website. Any questions?
No, except that across the street, is it open right now? I mean, to
Until
go over and
that's
see the
on-
Georgia
absolutely.
Disability exhibit is really lovely. I was watching them set it up. That's good. Awesome. All right, do we have any, thank you, Kim, so much. Any other questions? And, all right, does anyone, nope, we have no public out there. All right, and so let me say, do we have a motion to adjourn? All right, Michael's going to adjourn. Do I have a second to the motion?
Second.
All right, and I'll be second, and it has been moved. And I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed to adjourning? Okay. We are done.